hackers destroy the data on your CDs with these tools of violence and destruction. And enhance OS X with wicked cool shell scripts. Plus, is it a steal or is it a deal? We'll check out these week's tech ads and pass the savings along to you. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers! Woo!
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us in the Screensavers. This is the show that keeps you in close touch with the coolest stuff happening in technology.
Tonight, a great show. We got it all. We got shell scripts, we got destroying CDs, and we've got computer deals and not so good deals.
Yes, great show tonight.
Yeah.
And Dan, what are you up to?
I'm ready for some CD destruction, actually.
Yes.
Can't wait to grind those up. But anyways, give me a call. The phone number is 888-989-7879. You can also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. techtv.com. Back to you guys.
Dan's had some caffeine today.
I have.
It's exciting.
Had a little hyped up.
He's building up his whole British pop star image.
Yes, he is.
My pop star image. I'm not a pop star. I'm a rock star. For sure.
Big
difference.
That's what we're calling
Big
Radiohead
difference.
now. Shall we start with the tech
Yes,
news
we
that's going
shall.
around today?
Sarah's got the tech news.
I do. I'm actually surrounded by destroyed media right here, so try not to cut myself. Thanks, guys.
Sorry.
All right, let's start off with a refresher on SCO, the company, of course, suing IBM and just about anybody that uses Linux, too. SCO claims that some of the code used in Linux violates their copyright. Well, SCO may be losing one of its biggest backers. Baystar Capital has asked SCO to return its $20 million investment in SCO based on a breach of contract regarding a stock transaction. Losing this money could deal a serious blow to SCO's plans to sue the big companies on their hit list. $20 million, that's a lot of money.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, though. This is good news for IBM.
It was great. Well, it's good for anybody who uses Linux,
Yes.
right? Because it's basically, supposedly, Microsoft does an introduction.
Right.
The SCO group gets a $20 million infusion from this company. A Canadian company gives them another $30 million. That's a lot of lawyers. That's a lot of billable hours.
How much did Microsoft put in? Do we know? Or they didn't
I don't think
say?
Microsoft put in anything directly. I think they helped make funds available.
I see.
Or it's a little sketchy at that point.
It is indeed.
But I like the idea that somebody's going, you guys have jack.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get a $3 billion off of IBM. We want our $20 million of blood money back.
We're stoked.
I think SCO should sue the people that are trying to get the money that they gave them. Some sort of Indian giver clause.
Yeah, Indian giver clause.
Exactly.
That'd be nice.
Whoops. Actually, we've just insulted people. My apologies.
Yeah. We don't really say that term anymore.
My bad.
Okay. Because red carpets and awards just aren't paying the bills, Hollywood is now getting into the law enforcement business. Yes, you heard me right. Along with the big music labels and several technology companies, movie studios will begin cracking down on file shares with a new piece of software that promises to make it easier for ISPs and colleges to police their networks. The software, known as Automated Copyright Notice System, notifies file sharers of copyright violation and can instantly limit or cut off their network access. Wonder how successful it'll be.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how well this is gonna work.
No, it's not going to work. There's always a way around it. You know, college students will come up. There'll be an application out in the next, 72 hours.
First,
that will create a tunnel and secure and encrypt every single download, and there'll be no way to find out what's being transferred.
Or if it's searching for particular names of files, it'll be like thematrixmovie dot,
Right. They'll change the names and yeah.
I don't know. Copy theft of intellectual property bad. Buying directly into it's just like something I don't know. It's Hollywood writing code just
That's frustrated right now.
Yeah. Well, let's just slide on.
You don't download it or any movies or anything like that, do you, Pat?
That's what's so immensely bizarre to this. It's I don't know. They're not going to stop trading, right?
Right.
But are they? There I go. I'm stuttering again. Sarah, a wonderful story.
It was like Patrick turned into Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He's like, bad. Copyright, bad.
No, copyright's good.
Bam.
You know, it's
That's Pat's new nickname, Bam Bam. That's awesome. I love that.
Sorry, Patrick. I'm sorry.
You'll
I'm
pay,
just gonna
Sarah. You'll pay.
Patrick thinks copyright bad.
Copyright confusing. Hollywood weird. It's just, why would an ISP load that software? You know what I mean?
I
It's
don't
like,
know. What, yeah, unless they're getting some kind of like kick down from Hollywood or some of the.
I mean, I can understand colleges wanting to run the software because basically they're getting sued for not keeping this stuff off
But
the
why
network.
ISPs do it? Well, ISPs are liable. I
Hey,
guess.
college kids, if you create your own wireless network ad hoc or using infrastructure systems, it won't be traceable by this software because it won't be connected to that network. So if you're going to scam, scam smart, not stupid. Wow, I don't believe I said that. Brian Joyce is on the phone from Asheville, North Carolina. I hate stupid thieves!
Hey, Brian.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good. How's everyone?
Yeah, everybody's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm starting to speak in complete sentences again.
Excellent. Good time for that. My question is about gaming systems. I've been looking at Alienware, Falcon, and even Dell, and you're going to spend at least $1,500 to $1,800 minimum for some of their systems.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed like a non-gaming system like the Dell's 8300,
Right.
which has very similar specs.
Almost identical.
Yeah, and several $100s, if not half the cost.
Right.
Is there an advantage, or
Do you like the pretty cases?
Yeah.
You like the nice
Folded
Alienware
cables.
okay?
I mean, literally, Brian, one of my favorite lines in a review of all time was written by Robert Herron. We had a roundup recently of high-end gaming systems. Price differences. You may or may not, because we had the Alienware Area 51, Falcon Northwest Mach 5, Voodoo PC F550. Later on, we added an Dell to the mix. You may or may not be surprised to learn that these Uber systems, with prices ranging from $3,000 to $5,000, offer practically identical gaming performance, i.e., $2,000 more, same frame rates on your favorite games. Perhaps it isn't much of a surprise when you consider that they use similar main components. Here's the thing. Everybody who makes gaming systems, they basically know that if this is the fastest processor and this is the fastest graphics card and this is the fastest memory, they're done because video games basically live inside your motherboard, your main system memory, and your processor. Okay, you can spend more on like a hard drive, get a Raptor, you'll load the levels faster, you'll load the initial game faster, you can tweak settings on the motherboard.
I was going to say that most of the stuff that we've seen inside these systems you can buy yourself.
Yes.
They're not using any type of special motherboard that you can't go out and buy, down at the local computer shop.
But those cases sure are gorgeous, aren't they, Brian? $2,000 worth of gorgeous in some cases.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to buy a really funky-looking case that resembles, something that Giger dashed off in a sort of Fisher-Price kind of mood, go for it, man. Dump the mad cash on it. Otherwise, you don't necessarily have to build your own system, but if you take a look at the 8300, yeah, the specs can be made, except for the two high-end processors, which don't really deliver an appreciable, huge difference.
Right.
You can build a system or build an Athlon system yourself. Save yourself, $2,000.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, I just thought, maybe there must be a reason people are paying more other than the case. And, if I can I don't really care what it looks like. I just want to play the game quick and fast, the graphics and, just like you guys play on your systems. I want it to look like that.
Brian,
I don't care what's under the hood.
Do this. Go to your favorite site, whether it be Alienware or whoever it is, and custom configure it exactly the way you want it. Choose the detailed view, and it'll give you a breakdown of every single component that's inside that computer, from the memory type to the motherboard to the processor, and then go to like PriceWatch or some of the sites that you like, and you'll actually just be able to get part for part the same thing and save yourself some money. Do it that way.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot.
Good luck, man.
Not a problem.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch the parts because like Dell can buy 1 billion at a time, so they probably get a better rate. But yeah, why buy the gaming systems when you can get the same thing?
The cases are pretty though.
You know what? Learn how to mod, Brian. Spend $1,000 on tools and spray paint. And scare your neighbors. I like that thought. Cool. Good question, man. Still ahead on today's show. Learn different shell scripts to personalize your computer. And after the break, take your CDs of sensitive data and quickly turn them into a pile. Well, shards when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. More than once we've showed you how to quickly destroy a hard drive with sensitive data. Pat, of course, has shown you his way.
Screwdriver went, okay, I'm out of here. My God. Guess what we just found?
That was a ceramic disc.
Little did we know.
Yes, of course, there's my way. Yes, with the thermite. That's 3,000 degrees of molten iron in my backyard.
And boy, were the neighbors ticked.
The neighbors were not happy about that one.
The grass will grow back, Mrs. Crabtree.
In fact, it has grown back. There's weeds there now.
Yeah.
In fact,
Healthy weeds.
What we've come to notice, though, is we have about 10 to 20, 30 times more CDs than we do hard drives that need to be destroyed.
Because you burn off, like, work on them, and you burn off Quicken files and personal
video
data.
files.
Can I just do this all day? This is fun.
I remember when these things were 10, 15 bucks a piece.
And now we just destroy them for no good reason.
So the first one here is the Fellows CD Shredder with basket.
Somebody was shredding paper.
Yes, we wanted. Well, it doesn't do crosscut. That's the only problem. That's the one downside of this, is that if you're going to be shredding any type of documents that aren't CDs, you're not going to get that crosscut effect. But it does a great job at shredding CDs. Doesn't even stress the motor. I like this one. It's good for shredding CDs.
So when you say it doesn't crosscut, that means it doesn't have little tiny pieces of CD. It has long, skinny pieces of CD.
That's not a big deal for CDs, but when we're talking about documents and things like that, you always want the crosscut.
It's actually, I've seen where people have had
taped them back together. Yeah, that's not
people with angry people with a lot of time. What's that? This is the Fellows PS70. How much does this giant thing cost?
That thing is $170.
Pricey, but fabulous.
This one here, the Royal MD100. We really like this one. Let's turn the power on here first, get it going. There we go. Oh, maybe we don't like this one so much.
Is it still plugged in?
Is it plugged in? You got it, Pat?
It's still plugged in. Is it jammed?
It was working.
Well, let's get past that.
Yeah. This one.
Oh, you know what it is? Try it now.
There we go. There it goes. Okay. The drawer has to be shut so you don't somehow get your fingers stuck up inside there.
That would be bad.
So this one, not only does it shred, show me inside there. Nice and cross-cut shredded CDs there. That's awesome. No one's ever going to recover that. Now let's put this back in. One other thing I wanted to show you. Let's ship this. There we go. Is that shut all the way?
Close enough.
This here is a floppy disk, a standard 3.5 floppy. Now we're going to stick this in here as well, and it'll actually do 3.5 floppy disks. Isn't that awesome? Ooh, yeah. That's awesome. I like that. This goes for $150 from Royal. Isn't that cool? That's cool. It goes to it also does credit cards and all different kinds of things. Now here's another one.
It's also heavy.
Along the same lines, does CDs and floppies. It seems like the motor is a little more hardcore on this one.
Yeah, it sounds like you're about to,
That's the Alara Shredder, $119. Also does floppy disks.
Cool.
And we can show them what the inside.
We run out of our stash of floppy disks.
I don't know if I should be.
I wouldn't.
There we go.
Suddenly blood and screaming.
Yeah. So, standard pieces like wood. Not the crosscut on this one either, but it's
you're a big fan. You're afraid somebody's going to, stitch these together.
For documents, yes, but not for CDs. CDs, it doesn't really matter.
Got
this one is kind of cool. This is actually my favorite out of all of them. Let's slide them through here. Rather than shredding the discs, let me tilt it up here for you. When you put it through, let's put it through like this. It just slides it through, and if you take a look at the disc now, can we zoom in on that a little bit? You'll see that it's put all these little marks, indentations on the disc, and if you slide it through a few more times, it's really going to mark it up. Take a look at that. So that makes it completely unreadable, and you're not going to get any of the stuff on your hands like you would with the shredded, where you get all the shred all over the place.
And it makes such a lovely texture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this one. This one retails for, let's see here, how much do I have this one for? The $49.99. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And you don't have to worry about getting all the little bits and pieces all over the place.
Which is a big plus. So obviously we were a little over the top here, but it's a lot of bits and pieces. Now, speaking of bits and pieces.
Speaking of craziness, this one here, the DXCD manual destruction device. Take a look at the inside here. This is going to you hand crank this. And these are actually little pieces of, what would you call that, Pat? You know this stuff more than I would. It's kind of like what you use on a car.
Yeah, that's actually grinding wheels off of a... It's a 3M grinding.
Yeah, little 3M grinding wheels. Now this actually meets Department of Defense specifications for destroying CDs.
Are we smelling some $500 toilet seats with this thing? How much does this thing cost?
This thing right here runs $1,300.
Now we should say it
put a disc in there.
Like you could put this in like an Abrams tank, and it would be a happy competitor.
It weighs like close to 50 pounds.
Look at this. Like there's latches and strapping and giant handles.
Now that we have all the latches down, if you take a look here, it tells us rotate clockwise. So now we go like that about 4 or 5 times, and then once we've done that, we go ahead and pop the sides off. Like anyone would go through this much trouble just to destroy one CD.
It's procedure, son!
Yeah, as you can see, it started to grind the top of the disc off, and you actually get all these particles.
So this is more like not just destruction, but sort of an anger therapy kind of thing.
It totally goes to the inside of the CD.
I'd say that's probably toasted.
Yeah, and you can do this a few more times to get a little more. And it puts all this glitter for the clubbers out there that want to, it gets you all glittery. Now, if you don't have the time to do any of this, or you don't want to buy any of these, this one I like the best, though. We have one other alternative here. It is their microwave oven.
Now, remember, kids, don't put metallic objects in the microwave oven. Don't put the cat in the microwave oven. Don't put your little sister or your little brother in the microwave oven. These are bad things that result in death, destruction, or at least melting the surface or cracking the ceramic at the base, which will get you in trouble with mom and dad. Remember, don't do this. Now,
that being said, it's a lot of fun. Take a look inside here. We have a couple discs already inside, ready to go. I'm going to shut the side here. And I like to choose the either popcorn mode, and we just do like 10 seconds here, and then we hit start. Now watch the discs inside here. You'll see them. There we go.
Yeah.
And now once we've done that, we open up, and they're nice and done. A little bit hot, so you got to be careful. And take a look at the disc there. Completely destroyed. Isn't that nice? And flip that over? Yeah.
The data's destroyed, and you can use it as a Christmas decoration or a fabulous retro
like a nice
thing.
Christmas ornament or something like that, doesn't it? That's cool, but that's a nice, cheap, inexpensive way. You know, the cops are knocking on your door. That's what I do. I'm just saying.
And we thought last week was Dark Day. You can find details on every single one of these CD and media destruction gadgets at thescreensavers.com. Do you have the full article?
Yes, I do. Full article with all the prices and links to where you can buy each and every one of these.
Still to come, personalize your computing environment with some wicked cool shell scripts. And up next, we're going to tell our next caller if he can get sued file sharing within his family. Hopefully I won't get tongue-tied for that when the Screensavers continues.
Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
That would be powered by NVIDIA, ladies and gentlemen.
This week's game is one of the hottest games on the market right now. We're playing it Far Cry. You are Jack Carver, played by you, who becomes stranded on an island paradise and is hunted by an army of mercenaries.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Island paradise hunted by mercenaries?
You would think so.
Sorry.
Use a machete, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, binoculars, hang glider, buggies, Hummers, and a whole lot more. You have to fight your way out. And I have to say, graphically speaking, this is probably the most beautiful game I have ever played. We are all loving it.
It helps that we have these monster 3,000 megahertz systems to play it on with the latest graphics. But to top it off, not only are we fragging in this LAN party, we're also customizing and giving away our LAN party machines. Get ready, because we're going to announce the winner of our third LAN party PC. Drum roll, please. The winner of the LAN party machine number 3 is Roger Moss.
Congratulations, Roger.
There's like 5 guys watching in 3 different states going, yes, I won! Anyhow,
if you are Roger Moss, you only have one more week to win. Simply first register for our LAN party and you're automatically entered. And second, be sure to watch for the secret code word during our LAN party on Thursday. Now you enter that into our website and it'll increase your odds even further. You like the music?
It's perky. We're only giving away one more machine. That's all we got left. So go to our website and click on Join Our LAN Party to register. And you must own the full version of Far Cry to play. We'll see you on Thursday for the Screensavers LAN Party.
It is well worth buying that. If you have a decent system and a decent graphics card, that is.
Far Cry.
Yes.
You love it. We actually think we all love it.
Demo's available as well. So if you want to download it, just try it out.
Good idea.
Yeah, there's farcry.ubisoft or something like that. Yeah.
Travis joins us on the phone from Paul Smith's New York. Travis?
Yep.
How can we help you today, sir?
I was just wondering, I'm planning on starting up a family network at the beginning of next month when I get back from college.
Right.
And I was wondering what the legality on sharing software, like within a family network, within 2 or 3 computers.
Sharing software. What kind of software do you mean? Are we talking Windows and Word and things like that?
Not really Windows, more along the lines of, maybe a word processor, the firewall. I got a Norton firewall.
Well, why would you share something? Why would you share something that doesn't work very well that could get you, in legal trouble when you could download one for free that's much better?
But there might be some software that he likes to. What if he wants to share Word or something like that? Microsoft Word.
Well, I mean, Microsoft, they basically sold you one license for that piece of software, right? So in theory, if you are loading that onto multiple machines inside your house, you're violating that license. Are they going to catch you? Well, up until about a year ago, I'd say probably not. But if you load it up on 7 machines on the same day and they're all registered, right, then they might notice and either turn off your access to the software, shut it down through internet access, or give you a phone call and say, hey, what are you doing? Likelihood of those, pretty unlikely. It's like sharing music. The Audio Home Recording Act of 1992 pretty much is, as I've been taught, pretty much says, hey, I can burn a CD and give it to you. I can copy a CD, I can give it to you. It's just when you start getting into making massive digital copies is when the RIA gets really upset.
It's a little bit different for software, though. One thing you have to check, though, is when you're about to install an application, you have to click yes to agree what's called the End User License Agreement.
The EULA.
Yeah, the EULA. Check that out and read at the very bottom of it. It'll tell you how many installations you can install, how many PCs you can install on. Some software will say you can install it on up to 2 machines, but you can only be running one instance of it at a time.
Right.
Meaning that you can't have both machines powered on using the software at the same time.
Now,
it depends on the application.
Have either one of us ever seen a case where there was a piece of software of questionable origin and multiple versions of it were running and one of them shut down because another one was running?
No, it doesn't normally work that way.
Right.
But
is it naughty? Yeah. Is it illegal? Definitely if the EULA has power in your state. However, one of the things, Leo would point out is like, well, it's a household license, so everybody in the household should be able to use it. At some point it starts to get really murky, Travis, but the ground rule is that basically if you're not putting it up along with massive amounts of software for trade either on a Ware's site or up on, Kazaa or somewhere else, there's chances are nobody's going to notice. So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope that helps him.
Yeah.
He's like, I still don't know what to do. But
well,
be careful, Travis.
That's why I like using open source software and free software and software that's made available.
In fact, you have your top picks for free software that he should check out because there are word processors and music players and firewalls. And firewalls. That's on the Screensaver's website. We'll put a link in the show notes there for you.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you. Is Microsoft going to come knocking at your door? No, they're worried about somebody with 10,000 seats fudging their license and giving 1,000, installing 1,000 copies of it. If you put it up on Kazaa for trade, they're probably going to call you. If you put it up on a web, they're probably not going to notice. But if you put it up on a website and say, download Word for free, and here's 9 different cracked passwords for it, they're definitely going to call and they're going to make your life miserable. If you're installing it on different machines in your house, they're probably not going to notice. They can't get in there to take a look unless there's something in the software that sort of reports back to the mothership and says, hey, there's 3 versions of us installed around here. Kill. So, hey, it's your call, man.
Thanks for the call. Now here is Sarah with some inside information for you.
Ooh, inside information. Everybody likes that. If you like gadgets and tech toys, then you're going to love our Digital Digs Roadshow. As a bonus, you can meet ex-Plays Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler in person. The Roadshow hits the Pasadena, California area on April 24th and 25th. The event runs from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday and noon to 5 p.m. on Sunday. So you got a lot of time. For more information and to learn about the coast-to-coast stops of the Roadshow, go to techtv.com/digitaldigs. Wow. Much, much more. I know you want to meet Morgan. So don't go anywhere. See what deals Patrick and Kevin found for you. It's today's real deal. And after the break, retrieve your portfolio, print your iTunes list, play Hangman, and much more. They're all with wicked cool shell scripts. And the Screensavers continue.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton. Now, coming up in this half hour, it's the real deal. We found some great and a couple not so great deals in this weekend's tech ads. And our next caller is curious about upgrading. We're going to fill him in on some tips on Pentium 4 versus Celeron. Save money, lose power? Stay tuned to find out. Now, nobody likes to waste time. That's why OS X, Linux, and Unix mavens love shell scripts, something you should learn how to write or at least copy. We got the author of Wicked Cool Shell Scripts, Dave Taylor. Welcome to the Screensavers, Dave.
Thanks, Patrick.
Now, we should point out this is this is not a discussion of file sharing. Well, what exactly, for those of us who are in the Windows world, what exactly is a shell? Is that kind of like a command line? Or?
A shell is, in fact, exactly a command line, yes.
And what comes next? Shell scripts, is that like a batch file to allow me to execute a bunch of stuff, or what happens?
Yeah, shell script is to batch file like a Yugo is to a Maserati. How about that?
Okay, so I'm assuming Windows is the Yugo with the spare tire holding down the air cleaner, and the Maserati is running on it.
Right, with the half-size spare, yeah. And the Unix command line gives you thousands of commands with many, many thousands of options, and you put them all together, and you have millions of possibilities. You wrap around some basic programming structure, boom, you got shell scripts. You can write millions of them.
I think what a lot of people don't realize is like Unix or Linux. Unix essentially was designed that everybody should be able to influence any aspect of the operating system, or it was just a total information-centric, let's see how free and open we can make the operating system.
Right. Power corrupts. I mean, no, power is good. Sorry.
We like power. We actually have a couple cool scripts to actually show us. The first one is a compression or test compression. What's the name of this one?
Yeah, this one's called Best Compress, and all these are, of course, from the book. And the whole idea behind this is that when you're using Unix, there's all these different ways you can compress files, but you don't know which one's going to give you the best results.
Right.
So this is a perfect example of where you could use a shell script. So Best Compress, and just happen to have Alice in Wonderland in text form. And what it's just done is it's used 3 different compression algorithms, and it's compressed it all in parallel 3 times.
Wow.
And then it said which one's the smallest, and it said, okay, the one using compress is the smallest. It saved that, deleted the others.
So it allows you to not have to experiment with that manually.
Right. You can use this with MP3s, with JPEGs, with whatever.
What's the script itself look like?
The script itself, let's have a look. So you can see here, the first part here is defining the 3 different compression programs. Probably not super easy to see, but it's compressed gzip or bzip2, and all you Unix geeks out there are going, yeah, rock, man! So bzip2 is supposed to be the really good one.
Okay.
And it runs all of them. Let's see, go down a little bit further, and here's the fun part, where this nice little symmetric code is where it actually compresses the file 3 times, and the little ampersand at the end says put it in background, so it does all 3 at the same time. Nice. And this is all on my little Mac laptop, so it's like thing. It's like a supercomputer, just like the ads. It runs multiple things all in the background. And
show us another example of something that's going on there. Do you have is it number 67? Get stock in Portflow. Is that right?
Portfolio. Yeah.
Portfolio.
Yeah. So here's a classic thing you want to do. Right? You're sitting there thinking, how much is HP worth today? Well, it turns out you can write a very simple little shell script, and what this did is this actually just went out to the internet and checked Yahoo Finance. So
rather than launching a browser and typing in Yahoo and going to the next.
And so this is mildly interesting. It's not hugely interesting, but now you plug it into something where it actually keeps track of all your stocks. And now we have a script that says I have holding Apple, Intel, eBay, Microsoft, Qualcomm, and how many shares. And right now my portfolio is worth $49,000, which is really nice. Thank you.
We like that thought. And it's really easy. So it's like if you have a command line at hand, you can basically set up a script or design a script and make it execute a whole bunch of useful information.
Right, and it's tremendously flexible. So one of the things you can do is you can set it up to email you every 15 minutes if you were so incredibly enthused. And you can have things like have your cell phone show you what your current portfolio is worth. Now, I've thought about this, and I've thought about every morning you wake up, it shows you the change in your portfolio, but then I thought that it'd probably be a button you'd click for the suicide hotline.
Yeah, it would be bad.
So that would not be necessarily very good.
Interesting mental image. So, iTunes list, this is pretty cool.
Okay, so here's another classic problem you have. There you are, you have iTunes running on your laptop, you have iTunes running maybe on your PC. Well, let's step back from the PC. On your laptop and on your desktop, and you want to see how which machine has which music.
Okay.
So the problem is iTunes doesn't make it very easy to do that. And all the files are on the file system, but the way it's all organized is pretty bizarre, actually. Yeah. So it turns out there's a very simple script you can write, and now you can see my musical taste, and it shows you artist/album. And this is something where you can easily just feed it to an email message. Yeah, I have a lot of music. And all of it's legit. I have not copied any of it. It is all totally legitimate music.
Hey, it's legal to make MP3s. It's just sharing them with 150,000 of your closest friends where it gets a little squirrely.
Well, hopefully, you're on an open network here.
Look, scripts. This is cool, though. You have actually 100 scripts total in the book.
101.
101. Should I look to see what the 101st script is?
Sure.
Is it a whammy? All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Drum roll?
Drum roll?
A drum roll?
Actually, this is the part where I can't find the 101st script. We found 98, 99, 100, 101. Ladies and gentlemen, wicked cool stuff. States Capitals Quiz, number 101.
There you go.
We've got some really cool stuff. You have a bunch of cool stuff in here. It's a great introduction to actually the whole concept of how shell scripts work. And you can find more on that at www.intuitive.com/wicked. And there's actually scripts you can find there. For links to pick up Dave's book, Wicked Cool Shell Scripts, well, you should get them at thescreensavers.com and check out the scripts you can try out online. Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay where you are. Bob is dialed up with a brain teaser about upgrading. We're here to resolve the problem. But up next, we're going to check out this week's Blue Plate specials with the real deal when the Screensavers continue.
Folks over at Tech Live to see what's coming up tonight.
What's going on, boys?
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. So you guys remember the dot-com days, right?
Of course, I worked for a few of them.
Companies with free espresso, bars in the lobby, volleyball pit outside. I personally remember the hot tub parties because that was my own personal dot-com deal. Well, the dot-com field might not have gone bust in the video game industry. Tonight on Tech Live, you'll see the perks some game makers are giving their employees to keep them around in this highly competitive industry. I kind of feel like we're getting it back. We got our oatmeal back.
Yeah.
That's a perk. We really did.
We have the milk now, too. We get the milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, free milk, free oatmeal.
Free oatmeal. What else do we have? We have a couple of arcade machines still floating around.
When they're plugged in.
Soup and crackers, we have that, too.
Free t-shirts saying ZDTV.
And all the coffee we can drink.
Food here
All the
is
free
not
ZDTV
very
stuff we want.
appetizing.
I miss you guys.
We miss you, too.
Okay, that's coming up right after the screensavers.
Thanks, Jesse.
Bye.
Bye. That's what's coming up on Tech Live right after this show, of course. But now, it's time for our take on the latest and greatest tech deals. What are you doing, Pat? You're clicking around here.
It's all over the place. PowerBooks and iBooks get speed bump, right? Basically, Apple took a look at their portables, and they decided to make them a little bit faster. 1 gigahertz, 1.2 gigahertz iBooks. They've upped the PowerBooks. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you take a look here, let's click on the Apple Store.
Right.
Let's go to the iBooks. Did they double the cache on the
512 now,
iBooks?
isn't it?
512? Wasn't it 256?
I thought it
K before?
was.
Well, we'll have to explore that more, but that's a very good thing if they've doubled the cache on the notebook. And even if it's not, the PowerBooks are definitely faster processors, not so much money, which is one of our favorite things.
Now, what about the PowerBooks? Did they go up to 1.5? Yeah, they're at 1.5 gigahertz now.
Yeah, just wait till they get that dual 1.5 in there. That would be scary.
nice.
It's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're into the whole iMac thing. Second, check this out. Thumb drives got really cheap this weekend. Of course, you know, you've got to deal with the rebate thing.
Right.
And, wow. I love
$29.99 for, what, $128? That's not bad.
Can I point out that any keyboard where you have to turn on the F-lock is really frustrating? So, yeah, but look, $29.99 after rebate for 128 megabytes, $59.99 after rebate. Woo! After the mail-in rebate for the Lexar. Anyway, there's a bunch of different brands. They're all super cheap right now. Good time to buy a thumb drive. Great way to back up your files. Possibly your favorite way to back up stuff ever.
I use it for everything because the cool thing is that with XP 2000, it doesn't require any drivers whatsoever. So you just plug it in, shows up as a drive letter, you drag and drop, and you're good to go.
We like that.
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of things we like, Partition Magic, one of our favorite pieces of software, non-destructive partition resizing. What's that mean? You can change your partition, you can change the configuration of your hard drive without destroying your data. $19.99. Unfortunately, it's 2 mail-in rebates. It's $50 for the mail-in rebates. That's the cheapest we've ever seen a current version of Partition Magic.
Yeah, so 8.0 is the current version, right?
Last time I checked.
All right.
We can go check their website after this one. And this is one we just thought was really strange. It's $149.99 for a 30-gigabyte notebook hard drive. It's a 2.5-inch hard drive. And it's like, oh, free aluminum USB 2.0 enclosure so you can put your old notebook hard drive in it. But the truth is you know what?
Yeah.
External enclosures are cheap, and $150 for a 30-gigabyte notebook hard drive is a little pricey. So remember, shop around, ladies.
If you're putting it in your notebook, what do you need the external enclosure for anyway? I guess
Well, you have your old hard drive in your notebook.
There
So in that case, it's kind of cool, but you know, you're kind of overpaying for the drive. Speaking of which, drives just keep getting cheap. $110.
Wow.
160 gigabytes, and it's amazing because we also saw 250 gigabyte drives for under $200 this weekend.
And that's a 7,200 RPM drive as well.
Yes.
Cool.
Fast, cheap. We like these things.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it.
For the real deal. Head over to thescreensavers.com, click on the show notes. You'll see the ads we took at. You'll find out the stores they came from and our witty and charming commentary that goes along with it.
You can go pick them up. Get yourself a nice little thumb drive. Those are nice.
I actually did buy one this week.
Did you really?
I was like, wow, look at how cheap they are.
Cool. Excellent. Coming up after the break, our next caller, Bob, wants to clear his upgrading confusion. Celeron versus Pentium. We'll tell him right after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Get some insider tips on how to enter the gaming industry. And Yoshi puts a do-it-yourself Lubic PC case to the test. Does it measure up? Plus a free alternative to Microsoft Word that works on pretty much every operating system you've ever heard of. It's all coming up on tomorrow's edition of the Screensavers.
Yes, indeed. Now, Bob joins us on the phone from Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Patrick. Kevin.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
How can we help you today?
Yeah, I got a question. I was at a market for a new laptop computer.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to know what upgrade would have the biggest influence on the performance, either the processor or the hard drive. In other words, would I choose the Celeron or the Pentium, or would I go with the 4200 versus the 5400 hard drive?
Depends on what you're doing. The first thing I'd say is I'd probably, unless you are looking for the absolute rock bottom, cheapest price and performance is not a consideration, I'd avoid pretty much any Celeron notebook. Most of the Celeron notebooks today, they have integrated Intel Extreme graphics, which isn't so bad, but most of them are pooling the main system memory with the graphics memory, and it's just real inefficient. They tend to run a lot slower than a regular graphics system. Two, the Celeron's quite a bit slower, at least in our
less cache on the processor,
yeah,
things like that nature.
It's not our favorite chip. I mean, if cost is the most important consideration, then I'd say the Celeron's fine. But they also tend to be bigger, bulkier notebooks. That Celeron with the Gateway Celeron we have was that one that sounded like a vacuum cleaner starting up. I mean, it's a way to save money, but it's not the best chip. And the other thing is you can often upgrade to like a Pentium 4 for not much more money.
Bob, are they right around the same price?
Yeah, it's around the same price. The price, going from a Celeron to a Pentium or the 42 to a 5400 drive. I was just wondering how big of performance jump would I get with that 5400 drive? Would everything load faster?
Well, one thing to remember is that you can always upgrade your hard drive. You can't upgrade your processor. So if you have this, I would definitely. I've seen the difference between the two. I have this one here as a 5400 RPM hard drive. I've used laptops in the past that have had 4200. I don't really see that big a difference.
Do you work a lot with large files, Bob? Mm-hmm. Define large file to you. Is it 4 megabytes or 400 megabytes?
No, not really. It would be more or less, some graphics, photo editing, that type of thing.
Right, yeah. If you're working with huge files like 20, 30, 40, 50 megabytes or larger, then I'd start to say that, 54 megabyte hard drive is a good way to go. But the truth is I think the benefits from the 5400 RPM hard drive are going to be vastly, outweighed by having a faster processor, main system memory, and graphics subsystem.
And Bob, also just let you know, we're starting to see some 7200 RPM laptop hard drives coming out. So it
very rare though.
Yeah, they're just now starting to make it to market that I've seen. But start with the faster processor, and if you're really having some problem, which we don't think you will with standard photos that you get off your digital camera, then you can always make the upgrade later on. 6 months, a year from now, when the prices come down.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, which were you thinking, like Dell notebook, or what kind of notebooks were you looking at, Bob?
I was looking at the Dell and the compacts.
Were you looking at, what is it, like the 1150 is their low-cost notebook versus like the 650 on the Dell?
Well, like the 1150 to the 5150.
Right. I mean, you'll save $400 or $500 going with the Celeron, but I think you'll be much happier with a Pentium 4, or even better, especially if you actually really want to use it remotely and carry it around and use it in places other than plugged into a wall. You should definitely take a look at a Pentium M notebook.
So the 4200 RPM would be fine with that Pentium.
I don't think you're going to notice a difference, Bob.
Okay.
But, I would go with the fact you can't really upgrade the processor, you can't really upgrade the graphics, you can't really upgrade, the front side bus. I'd say go for the faster chip, and then later on, just like Kevin said, later on worry about that hard drive. Okay, Bob?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Now let's check in with Dan for a very, very helpful tip.
Thank you, Kevin. Hard drives fail, CPUs die, but bad or broken capacitors on a motherboard, it's an unlikely occurrence, but not exactly unheard of. To learn more about capacitors, how to identify bad ones, and even how to fix them, go to badcaps.net. But stay where you are, because next up, we're checking our inbox to see what's on your mind when the screensavers come back.
It's that time. Sarah, do you have any emails?
Of course. Let's start with one from Phil. He's running a wireless network, and he's also got a laptop that he runs Knoppix on, but he says his wireless card doesn't work with Knoppix. What's up?
Ooh. Well, I've done a lot of playing around with Knoppix STD and laptops, and I found that the Prism 2 chipset, which is pretty much the universal chipset, a lot of different wireless card manufacturers will put that inside and say, hey, we have this great wireless card, and they stamp their name on the outside, but
it's the same Prism 2 chipset.
Right. And about 80% of wireless cards out there, or somewhere around there, are all Prism 2 inside.
So that means
you can
try to use pretty much anybody's driver or anybody's Linux driver with just give it a shot and see if that'll work.
Exactly. In fact, they have one built in for a generic Prism 2 driver that's built in to use that one. Orinoco is an exception to that one. They have their own drivers that are built into Knoppix STD. There's also a modified Orinoco driver that is in there as well. You might want to try installing that and running that if you're running an Orinoco card.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sarah?
Moving on, this one's from Bill. He says, I know analog cell phone networks, sometimes there's a possibility of people picking up your conversations, but what about digital cell phone networks like Nextel or Sprint PCS?
That's a good question, because back in the day, I used to have a scanner, and I could sit in my car and listen to all different types of cell phone conversations.
Which is
Why would you do that?
Well, it would only be...
Hi, Mr. Powell, don't tell your friends at the FBI.
Well, there were certain scanners. Now, there were certain scanners that... Hold on now, let me explain. I always get myself into this, and they start playing the sirens, I get all mad. There's certain scanners that they used to sell where they didn't block these ranges. And if you had one of these old scanners...
Which is why they're selling for so much on eBay.
Right, exactly.
Because the new scanners are blocked.
Exactly. They sell the old ones on eBay for like $300, and if you get one, you can pick up some of the people that still have the old analog phones.
Right.
But
with the digital stuff, generally speaking, if you've ticked off the FBI or the NSA is tracking you or something like that, yeah, they can probably tap into it. For most normal human beings, I wouldn't sweat talking about secret information. It's unlikely.
Yeah.
So,
unlikely.
Is it possible? Sure. Government efforts, some inside spooks at Sprint that are really mad at you, possibly, but not normally. I
wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Any more?
Yep.
Okay, next one from Michael. I just bought a used laptop. I've updated to XP Pro. I've got antivirus software on there. Turned on Windows Firewall. I want to know if there's anti-theft software for my laptop.
Anti-theft
Does he
software?
want to make sure it's not stolen?
There actually is some anti-theft software, and they're like, we promise that no one will ever be able to steal your notebook because as soon as it logs into the network, this will automatically call in and log into a server, and it's like, don't lose your notebook, man, and encrypt the data on it, because the idea is great, right? As soon as they connect to the internet, our software is going to check in with our server, and if you've reported your notebook stolen, then our server is going to tell the software that's on your system to lock them out and call the police.
Well, tell me though, there's systems like this for cars, like LoJack, where you can drive a car down the street, they'll GPS, find out where it's at, and return.
There is no GPS for notebooks.
But it would be a nice thing if they added that someday. And
then you have this big lump on the side of your notebook, and you'd forget the password.
Extra pounds, no big deal.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but the truth is, the best is one, don't buy a $700 notebook, attaché case. Don't leave it unguarded. Don't leave it sitting someplace while you're wandering around the airport. It's the best thing you can do is to hold on to it, because people, anybody who claims that their software is undetectable and can't be uninstalled, all you got to do is pull the hard drive out and put another one in.
Exactly.
So
very true.
Yeah, be careful and encrypt your drive if you're really worried about the data that's on it. It's an easy thing to do in Windows XP Professional.
That is true.
Sarah?
This is an interesting one from John. John says he's an employee of Best Buy. He says, I just want you guys to know that Best Buy is pulling all DVD X copy programs off our shelf by April 25th.
Ooh. So now would be a good time to go and buy it if you want it. But then again, there is free DVD decryptor, DVD shrink. I just installed DVD shrink last night on one of my machines. Works great for backing up your
Now,
DVDs.
one good reason to buy a copy of DVD X copies because the people who make F321 Studios are fighting the legal battles to try to make it legal to make, archival, home use, fair use copies of your DVDs. So that's, if you're going to spend money on software, it's not a bad way to do it if you really believe you should be able to back that software up. Do we have another one?
Sure. This one's from Mixmaster Yoda. His real name's Corey. Sorry, Corey. I recently lost all my music on my PC, over 2,000 songs, but I still have them all on my iPod. How do I get the songs off my iPod back onto my PC?
Oh, I don't remember the name of the software application. Do you? There's one for Windows that you can install, and it'll pull up your iPod just like a hard drive. You drag and drop the files right off, and you'll have them back onto your standard drive again.
I'm going to type really fast, and we'll put the links in the show notes. So, but you can do that.
Yes, you can. That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Hey, well, thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, Dave Taylor. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.